time. So as you all know, I'm going to present temple architecture for the day right now. And yeah, before we could start, we'll just take the name of God and we'll quickly do that. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Okay, wonderful. So yeah, we'll start that. Let us quickly go through the introduction of it. Before we understand. See, temple is always been a very fascinating point in any civilization, what we have seen across in the history of India, on Indian land. Naturally, whenever we see a temple, we understand the art, the science around it. We'll try to understand some quick examples going through it, and we'll come to the core understanding of it. Because when we take the larger aspect of understanding temple architecture, we actually first see it falls into the category of Vastu Shastra. And we all know Vastu Shastra going to help us to do amenity supply, to do have a quick town planning, and see that all the different communities with respect to the economic backgrounds is being located in proper hierarchy. And finally, it will be trying to give all the necessary livelihood for the whole society to come across and build their economic forum as well. So temple always been the center point of the civilization. That's the point. So we'll try to see the few examples which are very much necessary here. So this is very first example I'm projecting over here is Brihadeshwara temple. It's quite famous nowadays. We have seen some movies coming on it because of Chola dynasty also. Cholas and Pallavas have come into picture from Dravidian or South Indian parameters. So we'll see that there is lot of information here. Temple just does not is not just a spiritual center. It is one of the spiritual center, but there are more things to add on in here to understand. As of with this point of view, Tanjore temple, Brihadeshwara, you will see there is no supply of granite anywhere around 100 kilometers radius. And they have got it here. The very first understanding for us to understand here is supply chain management. So they're able to procure material wherever it is necessary, can be bought to the point and things are done. So material selection and transportation, logistics, supply chain management is one management thing what we are able to understand. Next, coming up to the next point is civil and architectural engineering. We do know architectural engineering going to help us to understand the culture of that particular clan or the team or the Cholas as this example prevails. And as per the civil engineering and mechanical engineering projecting over here, we'll see such a huge structure up to 216 feet height. Now we are seeing so much of advancement in civil engineering. Maybe say one of the example is as a Burj Khalifa, the tallest building or so. We are already proficient in building tallest buildings. So that too with the granite. So that's another example, another understanding of civil engineering there. And of course, scientific one way, engineering technology is one way, and naturally it leads to spiritual understanding. So we'll try to understand the last section of this session. But yes, so these are the things what we are able to see from any temple in India. So let us go with another example. So Konark, Sun Temple. So you will see, unfortunately here, the main Garbhagriha has been destroyed because of natural calamities and invasions and other things. But this Gagan Mahal is still available for us to see. So here again, we'll see that science is prevailing because the very first sun rays is going to fall on the deity. That's how the things are. There are some more things to understand that the whole statue was actually levitating. Nowadays, we are trying to see levitating trains for high-speed transportations, but already there is magnetism applied over there to showcase the science, magnetic properties of physics applications are there. Apart from this, there is also a sundial on the wheels which has been there in the temple, which also helps us to accurately measure the time. So that's the intricacy, the importance of temple, which is also majorly focusing on science and physics. This temple is one of the best example for it. Next, that's what I've given you the pictorial information here. That was a drawing. This is a picture. You can see only this Gagan Mahal is left out, unfortunately, because of invasion as well as climatic conditions as well. Maybe it would have taken care up till now. Okay. Any questions? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Another example, because I prevail, I hail from Hampi. I belong to Hampi and Vijayanagara Empire. I'm brought up here in Hampi. So I'll give you the example of Virupaksha temple directly. So you'll see again optics, one of the basic scientific support for any photography or cameras what we see in the present day world. So you can see the inverted image on the wall of Hampi. So the Gopuram, which is being projected in an inverted image. So that is what is happening. They are able to understand the scientific factor also. The image what falls on our eyes is also actually inverted, and that is getting converted in our CPU, that is a brain, and then we can see the people in straight form. So that's how we are able to see. They have come up with a small pinhole mechanism, which is actually the main foundational, scientific foundational, optical foundational for photography and cameras. Another example is again from Vijayavitala temple of Hampi. You'll see musical pillars over here. So arts is coming into picture. A temple is not just science again. So you are also able to see arts. So that is another example. So another example from the same Vijayavitala complex. Stone chariot. Hampi is famous for this. Anywhere you see, you'll see a stone chariot as an example or a logo. So I've taken another example as such to understand the art form, focusing on art and craft. So yeah, Kailasa temple, you all know this, it's very famous, is a reverse construction. Rather to say, they have come from top. They have been engraving the whole hill to make the whole temple over. There's a lot of legendary stories regarding this, why this has come this way. If you see the Kalasam or the Kumbham, it is equivalent to seeing the god, something like this. So finally, they have come up from top to bottom. So complete structure is a single piece stone. So you can now think, now we are able to see in modern day additive manufacturing, 3D printing also. We are able to see that we can directly construct a structure as per the required shape. Now, think of the imagination and the architectural ideas and constructional ideas what they had, which they came up from top. So the main focus is to make you understand science and technology, engineering, everything is there for a temple. So this is another view from backside, the pyramidal view of the Garbhagriha and Vimanam. Okay, let us quickly try to get in touch with understanding what is Vastu. Those are the few examples of why temple architecture is important for us to understand. And now let us see, because I've told you already, temple architecture comes under Vastu Shastra. So we'll try to quickly touch the Vastu Shastra parameters. Now, one of this example why I've come here, this comes from uh, what is it? Sorry. Sorry. One second. Sorry. So yeah, sorry, welcome back to this. Sorry. So yeah, there are two legendary stories which I've got it for you to understand connecting to Vastu Shastra from Matsya Purana. So one is this Agastya and Vindhyachal story. So if you know this, so while the Narada was moving through, he saw Vindhyachal, he started talking to him, and naturally he gave, oh, Meru Parvata is very elegant and good. So Vindhyachal, because of ego problem, he started growing huge. So naturally we know if in that the hills are going to handle the whole of weather and climatic conditions of the area. So people started like, okay, fine, the hill is growing huge. So naturally the whole climatic condition will change. So what shall we do? Then they asked Agastya Mahamuni, because Vindhyachal is a Shishya of Agastya Mahamuni, where Agastya Mahamuni was residing at Varanasi. So he said like, yeah, he'll come to the Vindhyachal, he'll say, I got to move down to the south. You got to bow down for a while so that I'll go and come back. Until I come back, you will be in a board condition. So that's how the Vindhyachal will stop growing. Rather, it has controlled the whole climatic condition of the geography back then. And naturally, Agastya did not come back to the north part of it. He settled down in South India, and later stories of Agastya, as we know, that he came up with many different art forms, warrior forms, and all. So fine. What my intention to give you this story here is closely getting connected to Vastu Shastra, town planning. Agastya Mahamuni, if you see him, he can be called as a landscape engineer, where he now knows how to identify which area to dwell, where the transportation is. As in case nowadays we are able to see, we dig out a tunnel to give a highway pass through. So something like this. So if we see this, we can understand him as a what landscape engineer or a survey engineer kind of scene. So that is one example connecting to Vastu Shastra, and the stories can be decoded in the way you want. So it is a multiverse connectivity of story. Any stories in Puranas what we have. So that's all the internal understanding of the story, legendaries. Now there is another story from Matsya Purana again. So why Vastu Shastra came into picture and all those things. So now we know Shiva had a huge fight with Andakasura and he died. But Shiva was exhausted. Out of his exhaustion, sweat came out of it. And that sweat fallen became a very weird looking, horrified looking child who started drinking the whole blood of Andakasura. But still, his hunger was not complete quenched. So finally, he started eating whatever was coming in his way. All the Panchabhutas, all the demigods, all the Indra, Prastha, all the people in that realm, they started fearing about this kid and they started fighting against him. So it was upside down. So usually the wrong images are projected in the commercial market nowadays. The Vastu Purusha is upside down actually. So all these people fought against him and he was pressed against the earth upside down. That is what is the image what I'm showing you on our screen. And the locations of those demigods, maybe say you can see on the in the northwest corner you have Vayu, in south east corner you have Agni. So those are the positions. So you can see Yama, Varuna, Soma, all these people together along with Indra were sitting on that particular locations of this person, weird looking child. Okay. Later, they all realized that he is outcome of a Lord Shiva. So naturally, he has to be given some respect. So they'll then say, okay, fine, we'll give you an option saying like, yeah, you will be called as Vastu Purusha, and whoever follows you, you will take care of them. Who doesn't follow you, you will punish something like that. That's the reason nowadays all the Vastu experts say, okay, southeast corner because Agni is there, kitchen should be there, something like this. So I hope you now know why Agneya Mula kitchen comes in that corner only. Okay. So this some background why Vastu Purusha, the importance of it, and how Vastu came into picture. That's why the Vastu came into picture because all those demigods are located at that particular point of location of that particular area. So yeah, so five basic elements of Vastu Shastra. We all know this: space, air, water, earth, fire. They are all located again in the corner of southeast. You will see fire. That's why kitchen is there. Okay. So these are the few understandings. Okay. So because I'm going to touch temple architecture, we should know from where it is coming. So we have four Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, Atharvana Veda. From Atharvana Veda, Sthapatya Veda is come into picture. But on the other contrary, there is a huge group of people who also discuss that Artha Shastra is a secondary Veda or Upaveda of it. It's a huge debate. I don't want to fall into that debate because finally, Arthashastra is also talking about establishment. Sthapatya is also going to talk about establishment. That's how two have the controversial discussion. But finally, we'll continue with the discussion of Vastu Shastra where it falls into Sthapatya Veda. And Sthapatya Veda handles two things, Vastu Shastra and Shilpa Shastra. We'll try to see that now. Okay. So Sthapatya Veda, it is Upaveda of Atharvana Veda. Vishwakarma is the originator of it. Mastya Purana lists 18 principal contributors. So there are 18, Bhrigu, Atri, Vasishtha. So all these people have given their contribution for Sthapati Veda. Even Narada also comes into picture. So even now, if you see, according to Sthapati Veda and architectural information written by so many 18 people, we'll see Kashi is one of the correct planned layout, spiritually planned layout as per the Vastu and Sthapati Veda. Okay, so those are few examples. So these are few texts which are widely prevalent and available right now in the present day translations as well. So supportingly, there are few more as of now. So I'm going to tell you that Vishwakarma Prakasham and Maya Mattam, all these books are readily available for us in translated mode. So naturally try to go through Indian Sanskrit professors who have put their effort to translate it accurately to as per the Indian context, not with at least not with the foreign authors, because maybe the English translation takes a different understanding. But yes, a proper understanding comes from the and of course our Mysore Oriental Library do has some manuscripts. You can also see there. You can visit and observe the manuscripts and the work whatever ancestors have done. Okay, so we'll continue with this. So for us, we are going to continue with Agama Shastra point of view for temple architecture, because majorly temple architecture is completely based on Agama Shastra. And we'll see. Yeah. Brihat Samhita, Artha Shastra, everywhere you will see Vastu Shastra connected for us to understand. Okay. Types of Vastu, we have Avasiya Vastu, specifically for residential purpose, Vyavasayika Vastu for industrial purpose, and Dharmika Vastu for both religious and educational purpose. So we are going to handle Dharmika Vastu for the day. So in Dharmika Vastu, we have three types of uh, architecture. One is Dravidian architecture, which is a South Indian style. Nagara architecture, which is a North Indian style. Vesara is a mixture of South and North. So as in case, I'm showcasing you Hoysaleshwara temple here. So the bottom part will be a North Indian style, and the top part will be South Indian style. So that's how, unfortunately, this image is not able to, the structure is left out that much only. But yeah, they use both. There is a third type of architecture, Kalinga architecture also, which actually merges almost all the types. Kalinga architecture merges all the types. The foundational parameters from Dravidian style and something like this. So architecture from Vesara style. So that's how they carry Kalinga architecture. So that is a mixture of all the three. So again, I don't want to touch that, because already there is a Vesara style which is contributing, which is taking the contribution from both South and North styles of Indian architecture, temple architecture. So for us, I'll take lot of examples from Dravidian style, because we are closely related to it. We have quite a huge examples where you all would have been attended to or visited the maximum places till now in your life. Now coming up to the core topic of the day, temple architecture. I have a very big question. This, what is a temple? Can anyone answer this? I'm expecting you people come up with that chat form. You can just answer your type your answers on a chat section, and let me know what is a temple. Hello, anyone here answering to the question? Yeah. Yes, sir. What is a temple? I'm expecting some typed answers so that I can quickly read out here.
Holy place, sir. Holy place.
Holy place. Nice, sir. Holy place is one of the very good answer.
The place where it is dedicated to God.
Okay. Yeah.
Lord.
Again, holy place. The same answer for the holy place. One of the aspirant has told the same answer. Any other answers? Now there are actually many number of answers for this. I'll just quickly show you here. So the very first answer for this, oh, storehouse of historic and cultural place where we connected with God. Okay, so you're all at the point of spiritual understandings. Good, very good, nice answers from you all. Now let me elaborate the answer for you. So I've already put the screen. Please focus here. So what is a temple? Temple primarily refers to building dedicated to service. Okay, again coming back to spiritual answer only. Vijayendra sir has given this answer. Okay, so we'll continue with my answer now. So temple is a center for education. Now we all know back then in history, even now there are people who are running Vedic schools for at temples. Okay, so one of the most prominent parameter or the answer for temple was center for education only. So we know people were put into education parameters during Balyavastha and something like this, and finally they were uh, getting educated from the temple parameters. Place of worship. Okay, nice, sir. Next, we have another is ecosystem. What we see nowadays, we are seeing a very small temple boundaries, but earlier it was huge. As we see the older temples, more than 1,000 years old temples, we see the whole area was dedicated for a temple, where some area was kept exclusively for forest and farming, so that they'll get and even for agriculture because they'll get grains and food from there. Okay, so garden naturally flowers can also be fetched from there. Then we also have a water body supporting the ecosystem there. So Pushkarni is an example, but river, lake, ponds is also been identified, which also helps to have a water body, a quick supply and good supply of ample amount of water continuously for the temple. Then food, Anna Prasadam. This is huge. Even now we see food available in temples. Like for example, let us take an example of Raghavendra Swami, Mantralaya. So every time you go there, you will have food available all the 3 times. Even if you go to Tirupati, you will find Annaprasadam. Now we are seeing this way in the social democratic conditions. But earlier, when it was uh, kingdoms and kings, they used to still have Annaprasadam available for the people who used to come there for trade, people who does not have food at home. So people who are less than below poverty level back then, they can come here, have food and temple and go, something like this. So food temple is also thinking about co-living, coexistence of all the living beings in the society. Yeah, so that's the thing. Next, yoga and meditation. Again, sound mind and sound body, health, everything is also again focused over there. Arts and culture. I gave an example of Hampi already. So it's not just arts and culture with Hampi as one stone chariot. Even now, you will see cultural activities, music activities will be there. Indian classical cultural activities will be there. Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, and Kathak, all these things are happening. So they are promoting this along with arts and culture. The projection of the mythological story, not mythological story, epic stories, what we see in Ramayana and Mahabharata, is being propagated into the art form in both in paintings, singing, dancing, and other things. So next we have rituals we follow. Even now we do. Recently, I took my daughter to Saraswati Devasthanam, Sringeri, for naming ceremony and Aksharabhyasam. So these are things what we do. So even unfortunately, marriages are because of chowdhury and people gathering, marriages are changing, but marriage locations are changing. But right from the beginning, all these Upanayanam, marriage, naming ceremony were happening in temple only. Science and technology, I gave so many examples already. Trade and economics, because the temple was the center point of the civilization, because the whole business area was built around the temple. Even now we see brass utensils, saris, gold shops around the temple premises. So people used to come there, trade over there, and have an exchange and pay a duty tax for it, and then go move off. So that's how temple was also a center for trade and economic treasury. Now, I'm sorry, treasury. One of the best example is Padmanabha Swami, what we came across with 5 to 6 vaults. So all that is a treasury which has been collected by the king through trade and agriculture and handling the whole kingdom, and it was placed over there. So we now talk in terms of nidhi. So that was treasury, real time treasury back then. So later things have changed because of invasions. So we don't want to talk to history of invasions now. Next, judiciary system also. Nowadays in court we see that we put our hand on Bhagavad Gita and say whatever I'll say truth only. But there they are making both the petitioner and the opponent both together in front of God only. So that's how the judiciary system was. And of course, they were also having evidential based judiciary system. That's a different point. But still, the temple was a point of judiciary system there. Now coming up to your answers. Those are the last two answers. What we see, the ones what you have given just now in the chat area. That is a prayer and manifestation center, and finally, it's a place for self-realization. So that's how so much of uh, what do you say? Uh, Answers are there for what is temple. I hope you all got that understandings today. Now, finally, there is something more to understand. One way is metaphysical way, where spiritual and cosmic orders is been understood. So, similar understanding, journey to the divine is there. Elements of carvings and elements and carvings which symbolize the devotion and worship also. So, self-realization, human transformation, and self-realization. All these are the final outcomes. So, that is what is called as temple. Okay. So, let us come to the labeling of the elements in temple. So this is one example which is widely available in Google also, Google's images also. So we have, this is a North Indian style one. So we see Ardha Mandapa. So in North Indian temple, we'll see Ardha Mandapa. South Indian temple will not see Ardha Mandapa. Instead of Ardha Mandapa, we have something more to showcase. We'll see that. Then we have the main Mandapa. Then the Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha has three elements, Shikara and Kalasha. So this is how the layout of the architecture, civil layout is done on a North Indian temple. Coming up to the second angle of Dravidian understanding from Agama Shastra, taking just, hello? Yeah, taking just the one mandapa, or maybe say this example is with respect to elements of Vimana. So naturally, we are talking about Garbhagriha. Maybe see a side angle of Garbhagriha to understand quickly. So it starts with the bottom base, Upapita. Next, above that plinth, that is Adhishthanam. Next, we have Pada, the walls, the supporting pillars and everywhere, everything. Then we have Prasthara. Then we have Hara, which is actually correlating with the Kuta, Shala, no, all the other architectural elements. Then there is a Tala, Griva, Shikara, and Stupa. So many different elements are there with respect to just one part of Garbhagriha, what we see. So these are all the levels. Now we'll see Upapita everywhere for the whole layer of temple structure. Okay, then Adhishtanam is also similar, same level. Then Pada is also of same level. Then the structures will change from the Prastha, which actually enables us to segregate the Garbhagriha versus Mandapa versus Ardha Mandapa, something like this. Okay. Antarala is also there. While I'll try to make you understand from the Dravidian architecture. So similar understanding. So same thing. There is one more example for us to see a correlation of the same previous epistemology with respect to the human body. So you'll see the feet showcasing Upapitam, then the thighs, legs and thighs, Adhishthanam. See, finally it will reach up to Kalasam, Kalasam or stupa, which is the mated locks, hair locks, what we see here. Okay, that's how the whole structure is quickly correlating to the human form. So then this is some colorful picture, same information with some colorful picture to quickly understand. So we'll see same information which I have put. Okay. So now coming up to understanding the each element of Dravidian temple complex, we'll start from the Garbhagriha. I've taken few examples from Padmanabha Swami only, just to keep in touch, because Padmanabha Swami, the temple has a huge history. It starts from Brahma. Brahma has got this Vimanam along with the statue from direct Vishnu. All these informations are there in Puranas for us to understand. And being this as the oldest temple, I have taken the few examples from this temple only. Okay, so this is a Vimanam, which is exactly the top part of Garbhagriha. And this is not the main statue. I just bought it somewhere else. This is the deity of Garbhagriha, because we're talking about Ranganath Swami. I have put the Ranganath Swami statue here. But this is not the main statue of Padmanabha Swami of the main temple. So this is just an example for us. Now, this is the mandapa, which is actually there exactly in front of the main Garbhagriha, and there is a connectivity between mandapa and Garbhagriha. That is what we call as Antarala. I'll explain you that. Mandapa usually will be a huge hall with lot of decorations around, along with the sculptures or the Shilpa Shastra, which is there on all the pillars. And each element which is been there with the pillar has a different understanding. Again, we'll try to see how best we can understand through Silpa Shastra as a separate session someday in coming days. But every element here on Mandapa, in the Mandapa, is also an important parameter, understanding for energy point of view also. Okay, then the top part, you will go to any temple, any Mandapa of any older temples, or even now temples, you will see the top part will have a very good paintings available. So that is also showcasing the connectivity to the temple. Like for example, if you go to Hampi, the main mandapa, on the top of it, on the ceiling, we see Gauri, all the information about Shiva and Gauri, Ganesha, and all those things. So that's how it has an interconnectivity between art and epics and Puranas and mythology, something like that. So this is one image. Then we have Pushkarani. I told you ecosystem I am talking about. So water element was one of the most important element for us. This is a Meenakshi temple complex, which I am showing you now. So yeah, so this is Pushkarani, water body of the temple. Now coming up to Dravidian style informations only till now. So I'm talking about Dvajastamba, Balipeetam and Vahana Mandapa. Now, this is a small difference when you compare to the North Indian style versus Dravidian style. We have these three elements exactly after the main mandapa. So we don't have Ardha Mandapa. In spite of Ardha Mandapa, we have all these elements available for us. Now, Agama Shastra gives lot of importance for this. We'll try to see the metaphysical connectivity for this point of understanding also. Dvajastamba and Balipeetam, along with Vahana Mandapa. So we have different Vahanas for all the gods. Maybe say Shiva as a Nandi and Vishnu as Garuda. So we'll see those Mandapas as well. So as with respect to the North Indian style of architecture, Dravidian architecture has these extra elements focusing majorly as per the Agama Shastra and something like this. So that's the point. We'll see how it's going to get connected to metaphysical understanding. Now, I was talking about Antarala earlier already, so I just kept it here at this point of time. After you have understood what is Garbhagriha, what is Mandapa, the connectivity between the Garbhagriha and Mandapa is Antarala. So what exactly happens is, here in the drawing, I have shown you a plain one-dimensional image. But exactly, if you see, the Mandapa will be huge. So Mandapa will be huge. It will get diverged to a smaller area and enters into the Garbhagriha. So that is how the structure is as per the dimensions. The inner walls in the white areas, what I've shown you on the image, He's showcasing that. So this part which is getting diverged from the mandapa to the garbhagriha getting diverged. So this is where the change. So that is specifically called as antarala, and it has importance for Dravidian architecture. Okay. So this is another example from Hampi and Prastaram. This is another element of temple which actually gives you understanding. So now when you focus on Prastaram, this I hope you are able to see the mouse I am moving here. So this is the Prastaram area. So this is a mandapa. This is Prastaram. This is Prakaram, because this is getting connected to the main wall of the temple. So on all the main walls of the temple, there is a huge area which is with this decoration and area to sit and deal with the people. So this is mandapa where you reach the temple, a deity, and sit over there. This is place where you have Prastaram allowed to roam around. Okay, roam around the main temple along with mandapa and everything. This is Prakaram, and there's another example from there. Prakaram is exactly the sit out area which is adjacent to the main boundary wall of the temple, surrounding to the boundary wall of the temple. Now you may ask why it was necessary. It is very simple. Suppose say, because I told you temple is a center point of the civilization. Suppose say a person have come, he has now got some trade elements to trade, products to trade. He has to come there. He has to showcase like what we do in immigration and custom duties also. He will come here. One of the office will be there in this Prakaram. There he will sit. He will take the permission and go. So that's how the things are. The whole documentation, the administration process, all the offices were in the temple complex surrounding the wall inside the Prakaram. So that's how the location was. Okay, so Gopuram. So this is again coming back to Rangnath Swami, Sri Padma Rangnath Swami, Sri Rangam. So can anyone tell me, just think over, Gopuram is the entry point. So any temple in Dravidian architecture is a Gopuram which is too high to a maximum tallest height. And the importance of it is two things. One is the very first thing is the location. Person who enters to the closer vicinity of that area, he can quickly identify the Gopuram, and we'll understand, like same what we have a locator ball nowadays. So you just fly over a locator ball around your building, and people can quickly identify which where they are moving, so that they can reach your place. So there's something like that. So they used to have this Gopuram. This is a socialistic application, administrative application, I'm telling you. But Gopuram has a metaphysical understanding also. We'll try to understand that later. Apart from that, there are different locations available there. The people can go climb up and stand over there. It was also acting like a watch place. Rather to say, now we are fixing CCTV everywhere. There we used to place one security person who could see anyone and anything around the city from the center point as a temple. So that's how the two socialistic application, security application was there from the Gopuram point of view. Of course, with respect to metaphysical, it will be the pada of the god deity entrance, where if you see from the top. So we'll try to understand that with the Vastu Purusha point of view also. The pada falls there. That's how it goes. So this is another top view to showcase the Gopuram from Hampi Virupaksha Devasthana. So there are additional elements which have got added. Maybe say you can see this part got additionally added later by some other Raja who came into existence after the kingdom. There are different types of dynasties. Different dynasties have come into existence for Hampi. So they have added some more elements as per their requirement, and that's how the boundaries have changed. But usually, as per the Vastu, they will try to add on things as per the requirement. They'll add things. So water bodies they are maintaining two. One is Pushkarni here, which recently got renovated. Neat, the purification process is being done, and this is the main stream of Tungabhadra river, which is flowing adjacent to the temple. Next, coming up to the Shilpa Shastra, this is another important element of temple architecture. I've specifically have focused Ram Lalla image here. Very proud to say our Mysore person, our Karnataka has done this. And on the other contrary, The Shilpa Shastra is going to give you lot of information why the elements have to come like this. Because the Narada Shilpa Shastra gives lot of elements like this. So this image makes you understand what should be the length of the whole statue, what should be the see, as in case from the feet point of view, you'll see some measurements are available. Then from there to knee, there is some measurement. So everything is properly measured with the proper dimensions so that the image or the statue which comes out should be symmetrically, universally appropriate and aesthetically very attractive. So that's the very first point of it. One. Number two, now, apart from these understandings from Shilpa Shastra, as per Indian knowledge system, the way what we are taking IKS into NEP and education enhancement nowadays for the next coming Indian generation, young generation, see, we can take the Shilpa Shastra, apply it to textile industry, in spite of getting a wax model or some model. So you can use these parameters and come up with the dimensions of your clothing. Maybe say now we are come up with small, medium, large, XL, double XL. So we have a specific dimensions which can be used. Now, on the other contrary, we can also use the same information for specific understandings of fitness. So two industries get connected to Shilpa Shastra. That is one understanding, scientifically understanding IKS application in multidimensional way. Okay, so that is one understanding of S. Now, there is more decorative elements which has been done in Shilpa Shastra. I have given examples of Hoysala here. There is some Badami caves here. So these are the examples of emphasis of Shilpa Shastra by our ancestors. So they also project the importance of locating that deity at that pillar or at that corner. So there is some more understandings of those. So this is more examples. This is an example. The left one is an example of Hampi again. Okay, I've would have given you the 8 elements, 8 limbs of Vastu actually. In that we have one of the most important element is Vastu, the material. Back then, naturally available materials were the most sustainable materials. Nowadays, we have come up with more advanced materials from civil engineering and mechanical engineering. Fine, that's not a problem at all because we are moving towards modern technology. But let us go back to the Vastu Shastra. One of the most element was Vastu, the material for construction. Back then, we had huge. Taking example, both the images on your screen right now are from Hampi. The left one is the Virupaksha Devasthana Mandapam, Mandapa's pillars. Right one is Hazaranama temple of Hampi area only, Vijayanagara Empire. So two things I want to project here with respect to Shilpa Shastra and with respect to the Vastu limb. One of the limb is Vastu material. So as in case they have identified stone abundantly available, so they started working on it. So they started using Shilpa Shastra in two ways. One is structural support is a main pillar. The other one is the decorative pillar. Now, as of with the quick understanding, how they used to identify Vastu was very simple. They used to tap down the stone and identify whether the stone is male or female or neutral. So as and when they used to identify it, they used to use the neutral stone for base area, and then they used to use male stone for pillar area, and they used to use female stones for decorative area. So as in case in the left screen, left side of the screen, you'll see the larger one is a male pillar. The one which is attached is a female pillar, female characteristics. So which can be used for making more intricate designs actually. So that's how the Vastu was very important for them, and they used to identify the better conditions of the material and use it accordingly. They cannot keep a female pillar as a main supporting because the structure. Now, if you come to civil and mechanical engineering to understand, the crystal structure between the elements would have been the understandings for them to quickly identify male and female, which will help them to use it for the specific purpose. That's how it goes. Now, continued with Shilpa Shastra. So here the Shilpa Shastra, they used to identify the female. So that's the point. On the left, one example. The right example, again, continued with Shilpa Shastra. They also use Shilpa Shastra for projecting the whole narrative of Ramayana. So there are five layers: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you start at the entrance of it and start taking a clockwise rotation around the temple, you will start with the Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda, and Balakanda, and you will see Ramayana starts from there. And by the end of the fifth round, at fifth layer, you will see Ravana dies off. So they are showcasing one way Shilpa Shastra as architectural engineering, one way culture, one way our epics. Those are the history. Because of Rama and Krishna, we are here. So that's how they are showcasing our ancestors also. All the elements together are coming at one point using Shilpa Shastra alone. At this example, as this example prevails, only Shilpa Shastra alone is trying to give you so much of understanding: art, culture, epics, and history. And even your genome also, you are coming from that clan, Ramayana and Mahabharata, and now you are in Kali Yuga. Okay, so Shilpa Shastra just did not started or ended up with stone structures, granite structures. Rather, it continued on with metal structures also, metal elements also. There is one example of bronze alloy from Chola dynasty, 3rd century. It's a lost wax casting method. If you see the Tamil Sangama or Sangama literature or Chola era literature, what we come across is lost wax casting method is recently given by the Portuguese people, but it's actually called as Madhu Uchista Vidhanam. So Madhu Uchista Vidhanam. Madhu is the honey wax. Uchista is become, it is getting evaporated, and that's where the process is called as Vidhanam. So finally we are using that. Why I'm focusing this is very simple. Back then in 3rd century, we are talking with Chola dynasty, but in Indus Valley civilization, they were already known for bronze. And later it came up with brass. By the time Cholas started their expansion of understanding technology, they came up with Panchaloha, what we now also wear rings and bracelets of Panchaloha because it's good for body. And so infusing 5 elements was tough. Infusing two elements to make it an alloy was a tough thing, where our Indians got advanced in metallurgy, where they came up with infusing 5 metals along with gold, silver, iron, lead. So these are these are advancements what we have seen back then in our history. Now, apart from that, the technique is also very important. So the moment they take out the statue out of metal statue out of the casting, they'll see it does not require any finishing to the statue, because already there was a wax layer which will act like a barrier between the metal and the sand, so, or the casting box. So that's how the finishing was also coming very intricately, and even the complicated parameters can be sculpted on it, because we are creating first the sculpture with wax. So in that, maybe see, you can see the photo, the picture what I've shown. Even the toes of the legs are visible. The hand toes are also very clearly visible. That's how the intricate dimensions can also be achieved using it. So these are all coming under Shilpa Shastra. Then moving up to metaphysical approaches in temple architecture. So now we are coming up to understanding we have tried to understand science, art, civil engineering, technology. All this is one way of projecting the parameters. You'll also see we have projected or we have placed particular deities in one particular areas only. Now, as you can see, the Navagrahas will always come if the temple is facing east. Navagraha will always come on the left part of the god. So that is nearly maybe say closer to the northeast area of the temple. So they now know where all the presence of the gods comes into picture. As you enter in, you'll first see Ganesha. So all that has a different understandings, metaphysical understandings in a very broader prospect. Now we'll go further with metaphysical inner prospect of the temple. Apart, I've tried to give you all the prastaram, prakaram, all the examples. I wantedly kept Garbhagriha very at this point of the session. Why? Because now we are trying to pull up the energy from the earth, which is equivalent to the energies which are matching to the space. So what they do usually, I've put an example of Ayodhya temple, recent examples, because we are much familiar with the news, what we see nowadays. And yeah, so they do is they'll put up a huge layer of copper and conducting materials, insulator, and then again a copper layer and something like this. So they'll create the huge pit which starts from the layers of conductor and an insulator. So it is layer by layer, conductor and insulator. Finally, gold will come on top. And above that, the statue will come. So what exactly is happening is we are trying to pull the whole maximum possible energy from the earth, which is very much closer to the energy what we are coming from space or sky, what we see. It is same like a thunderbolt, what we see. So that's a similar understanding, a quick understanding of what energy is all about. That is one point. Next is prana pratishtha, what we do. It's already scientifically it is pulled up. The electromagnetic energies has been pulled up. The moment we place, there is a lot of process for prana pratishtha with respect to Vedic approach, Agama Shastra approach. All the Pandits do this. Vedic Brahmanical sect does this. So that is very good because there is whole lot of what do you call the vibrational energy coming into picture, which actually bends and shifts everything. So fine. So now once the prana pratishtha is done, energy from the earth, the prana pratishtha, which takes a huge, rather to say a huge aura around it. So that's where the moment, wherever you are, the moment you see the main statue, I'm sure your whole system will drop down to normal. Whatever may be the anxiety, stress, and whatever may be the medical condition, mental condition you may be facing, the moment you go closer to the statue or the main garbhagraha, your whole system will calm down, shut down, and make you calm. So why? It's because we are pulling the energy which is propagating like our antennas, what we see with the mobile towers. Okay. Now another example to highlight garbhagraha and prana pratishtha is again coming back to Ram Lalla only. You would have got the information. The statue, when it was prepared, was the look of that statue was something else. The moment it came to the prana pratishtha in the garbhagraha, the whole look changed. Even the statue sculpture artist also said the thing. So he was mesmerized with the energy which flowed through the statue. So that is one understanding to make you understand the energy system, what our ancestors know it. Even now we are following. That is very good. But what our ancestors have understood from the nature, what they are doing it. So now, even now we are able to experience the same. So yeah. Let us continue with the metaphysical understanding, because once you understood how energies are coming, one way mantra goshas are there, so naturally the vibrations are pulling up. There is scientific approach where we are creating both conductive and insulated area, parallel sandwich to raise up the pull up the energy from there, and we also are putting some noble metals like gold and other elements to sustain that energy over there on the statue, at the statue. Now, there is something more to understand is Panchakoshas. So, if you come across, anytime if you come across Panchadashi written by Swami Vidyaranya, Guru of Hampi, okay, Hakabuka, Guru of Hampi, Hakabuka. So, try to go through that book, possibly. He gives a lot and lot of emphasis on this Panchakoshas. Now, why is this important? Now, consider yourself as a center point. Now, many philosophers are told they have a Degulabaya and all those examples. So, it is this body itself is a temple. Now, consider ourselves at the center point of view, center point of the whole situation, and you have 5 layers. And 5 layers is not like the energy layer. It's within the body along with the body. So those are the 5 layers. So we'll start with Annamaya. That's why we have food, and types of food will make a type of person that all people usually come across. Then Pranamaya. So we have breathing. So it's not just breathing. You can check your prana anywhere in your body. So whether it is breathing or heartbeat or so. Manomaya, so Manasu, it's connected to that. Vijnanamaya, it's all about knowledge and intuition, intuitive mindset. And Anandamaya. Finally, Anandamaya is a bliss state. Now, whatever the five koshas may be, the outcome for your life is actually happiness. You are striving for happiness. But unfortunately, we are stuck with happiness again. Why I am telling you is this? Because happiness has a limitation. Because suppose, let us take an example. Uh, suppose say you are fond of pani puri. Don't eat pani puri; it's not good for your health. But still, suppose say you are interested in having pani puri, you like it. So naturally, if you have like five or six, that will be good. But if you have more, so naturally it's going to disturb your digestive system. It's going to even disturb your tasting parameters also. You'll finally get obsessed. You don't want to have pani puri at least for a very long time. So anything you do more cannot keep you happy. Anything you do less also cannot keep happy. It should be under control and bound. So that's the understanding of happiness because it changes again. The happiness is very temporal and it changes as per the situation. And this has a correlation with the temple. I have put out some list. But if you go to temple there, you're not talking about happiness there. Actually, you're talking about ultimate bliss. Rather to say Paramananda. So you will get achieve there. The moment you go there, you will not be able to see anything. You will not feel anything. Your whole focus will be at one energy point where the energy is getting generated at the Garbhagriha point of temple. And then you are just with the sink. You will not even now whenever I go to temple, I'll stand at Mandapa, I'll start seeing statue, Swami, and I'll forget what to ask. Or rather to say, I'll forget why I've come to temple. I just sit static over there with exchange of energy between the temple statue, I mean, Garbhagriha and me. Okay, that's how the Ananda and Paramananda has a different understanding. So we are not thriving for Ananda, we are thriving for Paramananda, and temple gives you that thing. So it can be only Paramananda if it is pure consciousness. That's how it get connected to temple architecture here. So we'll coming back to the connection to temple. So Annamaya Kosha is outer wall. Pranamaya Kosha is outer prakaram. I gave an understandings of what is prakaram. Then Manomaya Kosha is an inner energy wall that is with the walls connecting to Garbhagriha, Antarala, Mandapa, Balipeetam, okay, Vahana Mandapam and Dvajastambham. All that boundary is Manomaya Kosha. Then you inner prakaram is Vijnanamaya Kosha, and there is some clinch here. It should be, yeah. Then Anandamaya Kosha is pure consciousness, where it is exactly at center of Garbhagriha. Okay, that's how the understandings of Panchakosha with temple parameters are. So here we have some more examples of Khajuraho temple. Again, so we have, this is a North Indian style temple. We don't see Mahana Mandapa and Dvajastambha, everything, but we see Ardha Mandapa. This is actually Ardha Mandapa. Porch area is okay. Ardha Mandapa, Maha Mandapa, main Mandapa. Then the main temple, Garbhagriha and Shikara, everything is here. This is one quick understanding of the temple. Okay, now this is another layout of Meenakshama temple. So this is the main entrance. You know, it's a huge temple. More than 3,000 gods is been consecrated over there in every part of the temple. So all those things are there. So main thing is Sundareshwara temple and Meenakshama temple on the orange, closer to orange and red color. So these are the overall layout. I'm just showcasing you the layout of the temple on the broader perspective, not going deep into it. Now this is again another example for the layout is Brihadeshwara temple. So I was explaining the Panchakoshas. No? So I have put that there is some information here. So they divide the two areas because it's of length and breadth of different areas, sizes. So we close to here, there is one circle, second circle, third circle, fourth circle, and fifth circle is the center. So as you move on, so I'll take another example to make you understand. I hope you are able to understand this point from this point of view right now. So that's how the Panchakosha are also going to help you to understand what should be the overall boundary and layout of the temple actually. Okay. So now, I'm very sorry, we have a very blur image here. but still we can understand some information here. So this is Sri Rangam, Padmanabha Swami Devasthanam. Okay. So if you closely see, again, the whole area is again with the 5 layouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and fifth one is a temple. Okay. So if you now correlate with the Panchakoshas, so this is Annamaya Kosha, that is where you enter. As and when you enter into the main temple, at this point, main Gopura, closely, almost closely, you will not have that urge for food. Okay, so to some extent, the hungry quotient will be very, very less. So you lost that feel of Annamaya Kosha. Then Pranamaya Kosha, as you enter this, so now you will observe you are alive. So you will understand the inner parameters of your body, your own self. Okay, you will feel, yes, you are alive, something like this. Then Manomaya Kosha, all of a sudden at this area, after you cross Manomaya Kosha, your whole Manasu is at one vital point to understand the pure consciousness which you are going closer. Then Vijnanamaya Kosha, so you'll cross this, so all your intuitions will change over, and finally you will reach up to Anandamaya Kosha. That's why the moment you go closer to the sanctum, closer to the sanctum at Mandapa, my personal experience is I have always lost what to know, what to ask. I just was focusing there. So that's the point. So you are almost closer to the bliss point of view, that happiness, Anandamaya point of view, because you are closer to the super consciousness which is there, which is being pulled from the earth, which is having the correlation with the space, and it is actually propagating like a wave pattern, the energy pattern, which is completely invisible. That is true, but you are feeling it. The body is able to understand, because we body also has 7 chakra system, and we also have the same interaction with energies what we have in the nature. So temple is exactly the replica of cosmos. So finally, that's how the things are. So now if you observe the temple, now you go to a temple, observe in this way of Panchakoshas, as you closely start moving inner, as you move on closer to the Garbhograha, from the boundary point of view, slowly all that Panchakoshas will get cleared, the impurities are gone, and slowly you will get connected to the super consciousness. Finally, Anandamaya Kosha, the bliss will come into picture. That's why people who quickly go stand at Garbhagriha, where they are reluctant to come out of it, because they are enjoying that super consciousness from the Garbhagriha. So that's the point. Then coming up to some more information with the human body, I was just telling you, we are associated with 7 chakras. So is the temple associated with the 7 chakras as per Agama Shastra. This is all the information from Agama Shastra what I am trying to give you. The pada of the god deity is the Gopuram. This is the metaphysical understanding. And Gopuram social and security understanding I have told you earlier. So coming up to Mooladhara Chakra, there is a Dvajastambham. Then Swadhisthana, we have Balipeetam. So some temples will see Balipeetam here, and immediately after Dvajastambham, we'll find Vahana Mandapam actually. And some temples do maintain this. So most of the case in Shaivism, they'll see Vahana Mandapam is front and something like this. Okay. So there is a small clinch difference between Shaivism and Vaishnavism and something like this. So that's not a big problem for us, because the locations are almost similar. Only the positions are slightly moved here and there. Only with these 2 parameters only. Okay. Only with these 2 parameters, especially with Balipeetam and Vahana Mandapam. Okay. So with respect to Swadhisthana and Manipura Chakra. Anahata, that is closer, that is exactly the Mandapam is located on Anahata. And Vishuddhi is the Antarala, the one which is getting connected to Mandapa and Garbhagriha. Vishuddhi is the one closer, as per the physical parameter, it is Antarala. Then Agna, that is what we see, the statue is located at Agna. And Sahasrara is the Vimanam. Okay, I hope now you got the correlation of the chakras, positions of the god versus the positions of the temple. Now we'll see what exactly happens is human energy flows, the Kundalini energy or metaphysical energy, which starts from Muladhara. You all know it is a sleeping serpent and it will move from Ida, Pingala, and all those things. Now you closely understand it starts from Muladhara. Okay, that is Dvajastambha. You start moving from Vahana Mandapam, Balipitam, enter into the main Mandapam, which is Anahata Chakra. That's where we always feel happy or safe, satisfied, secure, and everywhere. Every positive thing from Anahata, we hold at Anahata, see the God through Vishuddhi, and have a communication through Antarala, that is Vishuddhi, and focus on the statue, that is Agna. Once that consciousness, that pure consciousness aligns with our consciousness, boom, the whole Sahasrara will expand. And if you see from the top, the Vimanam, it looks like 1,000 petals only, like Sahasrara temple. Now that's how a person who goes to a temple, of course, now you may talk about Dvaita and Advaita, where is Akara and where is Nirakara. That is all the other part of discussion. Temple is giving you all these parameters. But very first fact is when person does not know anything, first he has to start with structured format and then go to non-structural, a Nirbija kind of scene. So don't take that discussion in your head right now. But we'll talk about the basic level where everyone has to understand the energy system. It starts from the temple and then it will become super conscious. So that's how you start from here and reach at Mandapa, approach Agna through focus, and the energy, the super consciousness will expand like Sahasrara. And finally, you are at ultimate bliss the moment you go to a temple. And if you also see, you all take pradakshina for 3. No, you will have to take for 5. And pradakshina, usually I'll see people are trying to just take the barrier breakdown at here. So they'll only take pradakshina with Garbhagriha and Mandapa, and that's it. Three rounds around this, and they'll end up here. But actually, you'll have to take all the parameters along with Dvajastambha till Garbhagriha all together 5 rounds. So that is one way is a physical parameter. You are shifting the panchakoshas from physical boundaries of the temple and entering there. This is the main area of the temple from Dvajastambha to Garbhagriha. Again, the inner koshas is getting purified by taking 5 rounds. So don't take 3, don't take 9, not necessary. Some people will take as per their bhakti, they'll take 108 also. I'm sure this is not necessary. If you're focused at one point and do it specifically as per the Shastra, you will see it's necessary to go around 5 rounds along with the Dvajastambha till Garbhagriha, 5 rounds, and then enter into the Mandapa and then done. So that's how the whole metaphysical understandings with temple happens. If you try to do this, I'm sure you will try to do this today. Who are there, go to a closer temple. Try to do this pradakshinas, try to understand the aspects what I try to give you. You will really feel that instant bliss, and I'm damn sure you will be reluctant to come out of the temple at least for some time, maybe say 1 or 2 hours. Okay, so that's how the understandings are closely related to the body, to the structure, and finally connecting to the universal cosmic energy, which leads you to for bliss and ultimate bliss. So two things are there: conscious and super consciousness, bliss and ultimate bliss. Again, Ananda, Paramananda, and something like this. So now we are fortunate enough we could have all these from our ancestors, and we are still trying to get in through with the technology, and that's how the whole aspects of temple architecture comes into picture. That's how. So yes, temple is that's how it's going to be an exact blueprint of cosmos, which actually deals with the structure parameters of human body with respect to the positions of the parameters, cosmic parameters, universal parameters on the quick layout on the temple. And finally, we are getting connected to metaphysical parameters, which will enhance our ability to reach the ultimate bliss or Paramananda. Finally, the outcome of any GV, any living being on this earth is to reach the Paramananda. It is only possible to reach to the abode of the God or whomever you follow, a guru or whomever you follow. And that's what is called a permanent. And temple is a very, very important parameter for us to understand. So that's how we'll finish the session here. And thank you very much. Do you have any questions? You can just ask me, people. I finished my presentation, and you have any questions, you can ask me. It was
Sir,
completely, yeah,
yes,
ma'am.
namaste, sir.
Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste, sir. Very well explained. It was really interesting. Sir,
Thank
I have one question. Sir, the oldest or the new temple, whatsoever. But
Mhm.
like when we talk about the aura of the temple, like somewhere like it has to be maintained clean and hygienic, isn't it?
Correct.
But many of the temples don't follow that. Like when I am a hygienic person, so maybe I notice that often probably. So I
Okay.
can see like except that Garbhagriha,
Mhm.
the surrounding areas will be like the flowers will be thrown there
Correct.
only. So all those things happen. So will that have an impact on the aura or that positivity of the temple?
Mm, yeah, it is similar to the home, the way we maintain. It is similar to that. There is no doubt in it. And of course, neatness has to be maintained. That unfortunately, recently we are seeing that civic sense is a big issue. Naturally, temple management has to take care of it. But of course, the impact will be there. As it's a very simple thing, ma'am. If you don't maintain your room properly, naturally, the next day you will be not ready to. You will be reluctant to go into that room only. So that civic sense is necessary. Hopefully, all the managements of major temples would be taking care of it. We'll see how best. Of course, it affects the aura. So that is there. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Anyone else? You have questions here?
Sir, with respect to the colors of the Gopuram, is there some significance? Because the older temples did not have colors. So,
Okay.
is it just for one visual kind of thing? What is that?
Ma'am, things have slowly changed in the present day. Okay, as in case, earlier the mortar and the lemon combination, that kind of material was used. Okay, for that the calcium painting was necessary to hold the complete structure and maintain it. Okay, that was the reason with the earlier materials what we see, because they were thinking the present day materials with sustainability. Now, after coming further with the modern day technology, they are also using modern materials. So naturally, paintings can come for attraction and something like this. So the things have changed as per the modernization. There is no specific necessary application for it, but yeah, so something like this to keep it attractive, keep it clean, something like this. Yes. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sir, namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Hello?
Namaste, sir. Please,
Hello?
question. Hello. Is it audible, sir? Hello.
Sir, namaste, sir. Namaste,
ನಮಸ್ತೆ
sir.
ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಹೇಳಿ ಹಲೋ
Hello?
ಹಲೋ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್ ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ ಸರ್ ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ ಸೊ some issue with his mic, I guess. Rajanna sir could not talk to me. Sir, if you could not talk, at least you can put things on chat. I can answer from there. Rajanna sir. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions, dear participants? I'm here to answer you. Yes, Rajanna sir, ಹೇಳಿ. Hello.
Hello, hello, sir.
Sir, ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
Hello?
ಹಲೋ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್?
I'm able to hear
ಸರ್, ಇದು
you.
ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಸರ್ ಇದು. ತುಂಬಾ
Thank you,
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ
sir. Thank
ಹೇಳಿದಿರಿ.
you very much. Thank you, sir.
ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಆತಂಕ ಕಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಹಚ್ಕೋಣ ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ.
ಕೇಳಿ ಸರ್, ಏನ್ ಆತಂಕ ಇದೆ?
ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳು
ಹಾ.
ಬರೀ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಗದವ್ರ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಆ, ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬಿಡೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಆಡಳಿತ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬಿಡೋದು,
ಹಾ.
ಈ ತರದನ್ನ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದೇನೋ ಸರಿ ಸರ್, ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಇದು.
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಬರೀ ಒಂದೇ ವರ್ಗದವ್ರು ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ತುಂಬಾ ಅನಾನುಕೂಲ ಅನ್ಸಲ್ವ ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ?
ಸರ್, ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಫುಲ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ನಾನು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಫೋಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್.
ಹೌದು
ಈಗ
ಸರ್,
ಒಂದು ವರ್ಗದವರು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೂ.
ಹೊರತುಪಡಿಸಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರ ಸರ್.
ಹಾ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ.
ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಿರ ಸರ್ ನಾನು. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ಇದು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ
ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ
ತರದ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಕಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ರವಿಶಂಕರ್ ಅವರ ಆಶ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ.
ಹಾ
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ವರ್ಗದವ್ರು ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ವೈದಿಕ ವರ್ಗದವ್ರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಕಲ್ಸೋದು,
ಓಕೆ
ಅಥವಾ ಅದು ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಕೇಳ್ಸೋದು, ಆ ತರದ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೇಳಿದ್ವು ನಾವು.
ಓಕೆ
ನಾವು ಮಂಡ್ಯ ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ ಜೊತೆಲೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ ಸರ್, ಅವರು ಕೂಡ
ಓಕೆ
ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಬಟ್
ಓಕೆ
ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಬಟ್
ಓಕೆ
ಒಂದೇ ವರ್ಗದವ್ರು ಇರೋದಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ತೊಂದ್ರೆ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ರಾಮ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ
ಹ್ಮ್
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಒಂದೇ ವರ್ಗದವರು,
ಓಕೆ
ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
ಅದೇ
ಈ
ಅದೇ
ತರದ್ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಕಾಡ್ತದೆ.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ನಿಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಜಿಯೋ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು
ಎಲ್ಲ
ಸಮಸ್ಯೆನೇನೆ.
ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು NEP ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರಿನೇ.
ಹಾ
ಹಾ.
ಹೌದು. ಹಾ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಸರ್.
ಈ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಸರಿನೇ,
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ವರ್ಗದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹೋಗೋದ್ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ.
ಸರ್
ನಿಮ್ಮ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅನುಭವ ಕೇಳೋವಂತ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮೊಂದು ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ
ಅಲ್ಲ
ಕೇಳೋವಂತ.
ನಾವು ಹೋಗೋದ್ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು, ದುಡ್ಡು ಹಾಕೋದ್ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೆಸರಿಗೆ.
ಸರ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ
ಅದಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇದು ಇವ್ರು ಸರ್ ಅನುಭವ ಕೇಳೋಣ ಅಂತ.
ಸರ್ ಅನುಭವ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಹತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೂ ನನಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ
ಅದನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ನೀವು.
ಆಮೇಲೆ
ಈಗ ನೀವು ರವಿಶಂಕರ್ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ. ರವಿಶಂಕರ್ ಗುರುಜಿಯವರ ಆಶ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೋ ನಾವು.
ಓಕೆ
ನಾವು ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ತಂಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ.
ಓಕೆ
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಕಲಿಸ್ತಾವ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಸೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಒಂದೇ ವರ್ಗದವರು, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ
ನಾವು ಇದು ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಉದ್ಭವ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ, ಇದು
ಓಕೆ
ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ಇದು ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್
ತುಂಬಾ
ಯು ಸರ್,
ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಸೆಷನ್ ಇದು. ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಗಳು ಈ ತರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಕ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ಪಠ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಅದು
ಸರಿ,
ಹಂಗೆ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಹಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಹಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ.
ಹೌದು
ಯಾರೋ
ಹೌದು
ನಾನು ದೇವಾಲಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಿ, ಯಾರು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್
ಹೌದು
ಆಡಳಿತ
ಹೌದು, ಇಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಸರ್.
ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ರಾಮ ಮಂದಿರ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವರ್ಗದವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಆಡಳಿತ ಮಂಡಳಿ ಅವ್ರು ಒಂದೇ ವರ್ಗದವರು ಇರೋದು.
ಅದೇ ಸರ್, ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪುಟ್ ಮೈ ಹೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಜಿಯೋ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನೋ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಹೆಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಮೈ ಹೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಫೈನಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸರ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ technical understandings of the temple, and that's how it goes, sir. Any other questions? I guess I have answered everyone.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Okay.